I absolutely dreamed that my life would be filled with creating and doing things creatively that would make the world a better place. As hokey as that can seem, that was definitely a big goal of mine. But there are times, so many times, where I have to pinch myself that I am where I am and that I've created this life for myself. I feel overly blessed with that.
And welcome to the podcast. Welcome back to the podcast, the Broad Street Review Podcast, Season 10. We are still kicking strong. It's spring. Spring has sprung. We are very excited. There's so much to explore on our stages here in the community. We are in for a treat. I'm here today with Mandy Gonzalez. Mandy Gonzalez has a show coming to Ensemble Arts called Everything I Know. It is a collection of songs by Lin-Manuel Miranda, and it is here at Ensemble Arts April 25th. And so we're here to talk to Mandy. Mandy, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I'm delighted to be here.
Absolutely. So, for all of those who are not your diehard fans, tell us about Mandy Gonzalez.
Well, Mandy Gonzalez was born and raised in Los Angeles, California, and my whole family is still there. I moved to New York, in the year 2000. So I told my mom it would be a year, and it has been almost 26 that I've lived here. And during that time, I've been so fortunate to be a working actor. So I have been working as an actor in New York for the past 25 years. And I have done shows on Broadway, from my first show, which was Disney's Aida, where I played Princess Amneris. I've played Elphaba in Wicked. I originated the role of Nina Rosario in The Heights and Hamilton, Sunset Boulevard. So I just keep going, which is wonderful. And in between all of that, I married someone who is from South Jersey. So his entire family is Philadelphia, like area based. So I got used to Philadelphia pretty much when I moved to New York, and I fell in love with it there. And it has been 5 years since I performed with the Philly Pops, because they kind of went into this other space for a little bit. So I'm so happy to be coming back to Philly and with the Philly Pop.
Absolutely. And we love the Philly Pops, and we're so happy to have them back where they belong.
Fantastic.
Did you ever dream that your life would look like this when you wake up today? It's April 14th. 2026. Did you dream that your life would be like this one day?
I absolutely dreamed that my life would be filled with creating and doing things creatively that would make the world a better place. As hokey as that can seem, that was definitely a big goal of mine. But there are times, so many times, where I have to pinch myself that I am where I am and that I've created this life for myself. I feel overly blessed with that.
Yeah, that's great. So let's talk about Everything I Know.
Okay.
Mandy sings Lin-Manuel Miranda. Like, how does something like this come together? You wake up one day and you say, I love all these songs. I just want to sing them in a beautiful collection. Let's book it. How does this
If
come
everything
together?
happened that way, that would be so great. Yeah. So I have been working with orchestras for the past 15 years, I would say. And I did a performance with the Boston Pops for July 4th a few years ago. In Vogue was actually the pop group that was on that performance. And it was so exciting. But also just to be with Keith Lockhart and the Boston Pops was incredible.
Wonderful.
But it was the first time that a symphony had asked me to sing a song written by Lin-Manuel. And I sang Everything I Know, as well as Fearless, which is a song Lin-Manuel wrote for me for my album. And because when you perform for July 4th, it's in what they call the Shell, and it's outdoors. So it's a free concert for everybody. And there's not a lot of security. So a lot of people were able to, once I left the stage, a lot of people like ran up and were able to tell me how much those songs meant to them and how much his music means to them. And how it is. They want to tell me about their first time seeing In the Heights or their first time seeing Hamilton with their family. And, I just the whole thing. And I thought to myself, well, I've done so many shows where it's like the music of Andrew Lloyd Webber, the music of Stephen Sondheim, the music of these incredible composers. And I really thought Lin-Manuel deserves a space here in this world, and his followers deserve a place to go and feel like they can celebrate his music, but also that they also belong at symphony halls. Sometimes people will come to me after the show to say that it's their first time coming to the symphony, and this is their first time, and they came with their entire family for somebody's
Wow.
birthday or something like this because they love Moana or they love Encanto or they love Hamilton, and they wanted to share that with their family. And so I put together this idea and I wrote to Lin-Manuel and he said, yeah. And so after that, I had to put together a team. And I started to meet with different directors and writers about putting together this evening. And I met with Dick Scanlon, who is the creative over at Thoroughly Modern Billy. I adore his work. He also did Sherry Renee Scott's show, Everyday Rapture, and I've been an admirer of his for so long. And when we met, it was just kismet. Like he just understood what I wanted to do and that I wanted to make it an evening and a celebration. And I wanted it to be on this big scale, which is the symphony hall, or just different halls in all different towns that everybody they were getting to know, if they loved Lin-Manuel, they were getting to know different parts of his music. And so we decided that he asked me to put together a mixtape of all the songs that I absolutely loved and wanted to sing. And so I did. And it was a long mixtape. And it makes total sense because that's something that Lin-Manuel is the best at, is mixtapes. He would put together mixtapes for all of our opening nights with songs that, felt like made him think of each one of us for every one of the cast members. And then I added my dear friend and musical director, Dan Lipton, to the group. And then we got to work and we started to, figure out the storyline that we wanted to tell for the evening. So it took a lot of work and a lot of I guess it took a lot of following my guts, following my inner voice of you're on this path that's going to be really special. And I'm so glad that I went for it.
Yeah. Great. So as we're speaking, there's one more event before you come to Philadelphia. But how do you prepare to get to like how far in advance you get to the town where you're going to be working with the orchestra? Like what is that rehearsal process like that prepares you for their stage and their particular acoustics and
I think people would be very surprised that it's a very quick turnaround. A lot of times when I work with orchestras, you get there that day, you meet with the conductor, you have a conductor's rehearsal, and then a couple hours later, you're on stage with the entire orchestra. And there's no room for learning you know what I mean? Like learning the
Yeah.
music as you go. You have to come fully prepared and
Hmm.
ready to bring your A game. And so we're so lucky with the Philly Pops and with this show, because this show is the rhythm section is such an important part of this show. And so we get to do a rhythm section rehearsal the day before. So I arrive the day before. So I arrive on that. I think I'm coming in on that Thursday night. And then Friday, we have the rhythm section rehearsal as well as a rehearsal with our guest artist, Jose Mendez from the Philadelphia Gay Men's Choir. And so I get to rehearse with him. And then on Saturday, we do a full orchestra rehearsal. I believe it's 2.5 hours. And then that night is the show. It's very there's a lot of adrenaline.
Hmm.
It's very different than, putting together a theater show.
Yes, I can imagine. So I know that at some of the events there have been different sort of guest stars. Is that a
Yes.
change? Is that unique to every location? Are those things that we should know in advance, or are they surprises that we look forward to when we get there?
There's surprises, absolutely. But I think the
Yay!
thing to know, but I think the thing to know in advance is that I am wherever I go, the thing that I love about touring and putting my show up in different places is really getting involved with the community in the area. And so it's important for me to shine a light on local talent, on people that are just coming up or people that have been doing this for a minute and need a moment to get that spotlight. That's so important to me. So that's why I've added the guest star. So everywhere that we go, there will be somebody from the area singing with me, as well as a local choir. And
That is
it's very exciting. I've been so lucky because Jose was actually able to come to New York to do some rehearsals, and we were able to get to know each other. But automatically, it was like, oh, we were friends.
that is very exciting. The venue, Marian Anderson Hall, is just such a stunning location
Absolutely. It's
to be in.
beautiful. Yes, absolutely.
So, how do you feel after a night of singing these songs? Like, what does it do to you on the inside when you walk off stage?
I feel pure adrenaline afterwards, like, let's do it again, which is, I just feel so much joy. I feel like the audience has such a great time. They really come along with me on this ride. And, because like any Lin-Manuel show, you kind of have to hold on and it just keeps going,
Yeah.
in Hamilton or anything like that. Any mistakes or anything that happens, the music just keeps going.
Mhm.
So you have to jump and you have to just go along for the ride. And I love it because the audience is so willing. They're singing along with songs that they know. And they're singing, they're laughing, they're crying, and it just makes me so happy. So I'm just filled with joy at the end. Because we have the local choir coming on at the end, I do have like a lot of people off stage at the end of the show, and I get to tell them great job. And a lot of times it's their first time on a stage. It's their first time at a symphony hall. And that's a big, big deal. And I know because that happened to me when I was a kid. And I got to sing at a concert with Bernadette Peters and Gregory Hines when I was younger. I got to be part of an ensemble that supported them. And it changed my life. And I'm hoping that is the same thing for a lot of these young people.
Wow. What do you say to those who see themselves in you about pursuing their dreams?
Um, oh, you're going to make me cry. Uh, I say to myself, wow, look how far you've come. And it's a very humbling experience to talk to young people that want to do this for a living. And I'm able to tell them what a lot of people weren't able to tell me at that time because there weren't a lot of Latinas in that space when I was younger, when I was their age. And I'm able to say, like, there is a space for you. There's a space for you in the arts. And that's what I tell to people that I do master classes with or just Q&A, that it may not always look exactly how you think it's going to look. But if you go on that journey, there are so many incredible things you can do in the arts, where you can make that your life. And it is a privilege to be able to talk to young people um, about that and for them to share their their dreams and their, inside hopes with me.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah, we always try to point out how these skills are a strong foundation for pretty much anything. Uh,
Anything,
yeah, it's like the
being
ability to
able.
sort of reset and present, is a skill that we can use in so many spaces.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I love talking about that.
Mhm. That's great. So I have some fans from Instagram. Their handle is Dem Bruce Gals. Dem
Okay.
Bruce Gals. They had a question from In the Heights to Basura. What is the one thing that you cherish the most about telling stories of your people, especially during a time such as now?
I think the thing that I love so much about telling these stories is that it reminds people that they're universal,
Mhm.
that the human heart has no boundaries, and we are here. We are part of this world. We are part of this community. And it fills me with so much pride to tell stories that my family can enjoy and relate to on a deeper level, but also tell stories that remind people that we're not so different from you.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And being able to see our hue on stage shining is always such a wonderful experience. There are so many
Yes,
people
absolutely.
who walk past these venues who do not feel like they are spaces for them. And so to
Mhm.
see performers that look like them on those stages, that's an inviting moment, and it does
Absolutely.
help
And
us
to
feel
hear a little bit of the language on
belong.
their language on stage, representation does matter. And I'm so excited about this new project that I'm starting, and all of the young people that are coming up and that grew up within the Heights and with Hamilton, and they are coming into this world of ready to take up space.
Yes.
And I absolutely love that.
I know all of these albums, In the Heights, Hamilton, Wicked. They were all in my playlist before I got to see them on stage
Oh,
live, and they had already held the place in my heart, and then to get there and see the story play out, it's like another layer of processing that beautiful music that, we were able to carry with us throughout our day, before experiencing it, and then it just, imprints yourself it imprints onto you in a way that, you're forever changed. All of this
yeah, I
work that
hope
you've been
so.
a part of is so wonderful in how it moved the society and how it made people think differently about, their place in it. So
Well, thank you.
wonderful.
I appreciate that. That was always the dream.
Yeah. There's one more question them Bruce Gals have is, can you share anything about the In the Heights return to Broadway?
Oh my gosh, I don't know anything about. I'm kind of in the loop when I see it on Playbill or things like that. Well, first of all, it was like, I think we opened the show 18 years ago. And it was like, oh, wow, we've raised an adult. That was the first thought. And the fact that the original cast members that were all friends and that we've kept in touch throughout these last 18 years fills me with so much pride. uh you know the people that I met in that show are my family, and that has not changed in 18 years. And they're not just my family. It's like, to have families of their own and raise children, and I know everybody, and that makes me so happy. And everybody that was a part of that company continues to make the world a better place. And that also fills me with pride. So the fact that this story just continues to go on, I'm excited, and I'm excited to see how the show, you know, changes their life, and the company that they create, and to see how long, they stay friends and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Wonderful. The production is everything I know. Mandy Gonzalez sings Lin-Manuel Miranda. It's April 25th at 3 p.m. in Marian Anderson Hall. You can get your tickets at ensembleartsphilly.org. Mandy Gonzalez, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me and for us to get to know you. This has been truly a pleasure.